Make your second wish.
Astonish me, Djinn. Show me wonders.
As you wish.
Free us, wizard. Lift this curse. By all the names of God, this is not what I wanted!
Then wish it away, exalted ones.
Stop!
I warn you, wizard. Hold your tongue.
One more wish is all this creature needs.
New wonders, majesty.
Written by Peter Atkins, produced by Wes Craven, and directed by Robert Kurtzman, Wishmaster is a 1997 horror fantasy film starring Andrew Divoff, Tammy Lauren, Tony Todd, and Robert Englund. It follows a demonic Djinn that tries to trick humanity into making 3 wishes that it can grant, which would allow its brethren to take over the earth. Hey guys, what's happening? Niyat here with Film Comics Explained, and, as requested, today we're diving into the story, production, and the history behind its mystical villain, the Djinn known as the Wishmaster.
Yes, the shit just hit the fan, didn't it?
Real-world stories of the Djinn date way back to the pre-Islamic period of Arabian history. Some theorize that they were desert-roaming malevolent spirits, while others claim they were pagan deities that became less powerful as time progressed. They were believed to possess the ability to become invisible and shapeshift into various forms, but were still considered mortal and could be defeated by a skilled warrior in combat. Capable of being both good and evil, they were said to live in their own tribal culture, formulating their own religions and laws. With the advent of Islam in the 7th century, stories of their kind made their way into the holy texts like the Quran. As the religion spread outside the Arabian Peninsula, so too did the concept of the Djinn, with some communities believing them to be vengeful spirits and the source of all disease and mental illness. Funnily enough, the relation between Djinns and wish-granting wasn't established until 1706, when French archaeologist Antoine Galland translated a collection of Arabian folktales called Arabian Nights. Galland replaced the term Djinn with the French word genie, while also introducing a few short stories he'd heard from a Syrian storyteller called Hannah Diab. One of these stories was Aladdin's Wonderful Lamp, which is widely regarded as the source of the genie wish-granting trope. In Wishmaster, the Djinn are a powerful race of evil entities forged in fire at the dawn of time that were forced to live in the space between realms. One was prophesied to free their kin by granting a summoner 3 wishes, and the focal antagonist in Wishmaster is essentially trying to fulfill this prophecy so that his brothers and sisters can take over the earth. To accomplish this, he must charge an opal fire gem with wayward human souls, then release its power by successfully granting 3 wishes. Because of the indentured servitude, the Wishmaster grew to hate humanity and began taking great pleasure in our torture and demise.
I am this, the cry of the abandoned child, the winter of the whipped beast.
The Djinn has seemingly limitless power, can perform a wide assortment of magic, from invisibility, conjuration, teleportation, to the ability to warp space, time, and matter.
I wish I was in my apartment without you.
During the Palace Massacre in 1127, he demonstrates his penchant for reality altering through his modification of the human form, summoning a skeleton to rip out of a body, cursing internal organs to become sentient, and even transforming a human into a reptilian hybrid. He's also a talented shapeshifter, taking on anyone's identity by cutting off their face and attaching it to his own. Despite this might, he rarely fights a victim outright, opting instead to trick them into asking for a wish for using the parameters of their wish against them.
Would you like to escape?
Ultimately, the Djinn's greatest weakness is that their being is tied to human commands.
Do you have any idea how frustrating it is to have unlimited power and only be able to use it when some worm asks you for something?
No, I can't say that I do.
And due to their immortality, they can only be contained or banished. The movie kicks off in the year 1127 at a lavish party hosted by the Persian Emperor. Lorded over by the Djinn played by Andrew Divoff, the Emperor wishes to see wonders, but the Wishmaster perverts the request, brutally killing the palace occupants in a wondrous display. As the entity urges the Emperor to make his 3rd and final wish, a sorcerer casts a spell on the spirit, trapping it inside a fire opal gem. Jumping forward to present-day United States, dock workers attempt to unload a precious antique statue of the pre-Islamic god Ahura, overseen by its owner, Robert Englund's Raymond Beaumont, and his assistant Ed, played by Ted Raimi. Unfortunately, the drunk crane operator flubs the controls and sends the statue crashing to the ground, killing Ed. Noticing the fire opal in the wreckage, one of the workers nabs it, later pawning it for a few $100.
This came in this morning. I had a hunch about it, gave the guy a good price, and I'd like it appraised.
During an appraisal, Tammy Lawrence Alex Anderson sees something within the gem and brings it to her friend Josh to examine it. While running some thermal imaging tests, the opal violently splits, releasing the Djinn and destroying the lab. Severely wounded by the explosion, Josh is stunned as a slimy being crawls towards him. Granting his wish, it promises to ease Josh's pain, but does so by killing him outright.
Tell me you want the pain to cease.
Yes.
As you wish.
Now fully formed, the Wishmaster retrieves the shattered pieces of the opal and sets out to collect the human souls he needs. Disturbed by Josh's death and feeling partially responsible, Alex investigates the source of the opal, leading her to the statue's owner, Raymond. Trying to be hospitable, he invites Alex and her sister Shannon to his upscale party later that night, and puts her in contact with Wendy, a professor who explains the lore of the Djinn.
The Djinn are a race created after the angels but before mankind. Powerful, magical, evil.
Meanwhile, still in his repulsive true form, the entity uses his powers to take on the identity of a medical cadaver. Now sporting a human disguise and going under the name of Nathaniel Demarest, it continues to torment the public, capturing their souls by granting them disastrous wishes.
Well, now you'd have to go through me, and that is something I would love to see.
Experiencing painful fits, Alex goes to visit the professor, but discovers the Djinn has killed Wendy and taken a form. The Wishmaster then reveals its true form and encourages her to use 3 wishes, even giving her a freebie as a sign of good faith.
Blow your brains out.
That which is eternal cannot die. But if it's any consolation, that hurt like hell.
For her first official wish, she asks to know what the Djinn truly are, and is transported inside the fire opal and sees the captured souls he's torturing. Alex then uses her second wish to return to her apartment alone, free of the Djinn's company. Noticing that her sister has left for Beaumont's gathering, and worried that the entity will target her next, she hurries to the party with Nathaniel in close pursuit. She makes it in without a problem, but warns the doorman, Tony Todd's Johnny Valentine, that she's been hounded by Nathaniel. Despite Johnny's attempts to keep him out, the Wishmaster easily makes it in and quickly befriends Beaumont. When he wishes that his party was truly unforgettable, the Djinn grants his wish in signature fashion, causing mayhem to erupt. As the partygoers are brutally killed en masse, Nathaniel corners Alex, coercing her into using her third wish by hurting her sister. In a clever twist, she wishes that the crane operator from the dock hadn't been drunk on the job 2 days prior, preventing the accident from ever having occurred. With the fire opal still contained inside the statue and residing in Beaumont's private collection, Alex's life returns to normal, with all of her friends coming back to life, while the Djinn is left trapped in the gem. The film was released on September 19, 1997, and was immediately mocked by most critics. Complaints were lobbed at the film's visuals and acting, but audiences seemed to enjoy it enough, with the film closing in 3rd place at the box office during its opening weekend, and earning over $15 million, 3 times its budget by the end of its theatrical run. Its moderate success led to the formation of made-for-television and direct-to-video successors, starting with the sequel, Wishmaster 2, Evil Never Dies in 1999. Another sequel, Wishmaster 3, Beyond the Gates of Hell, released in 2001, before the 4th and final film, Wishmaster, The Prophecy Fulfilled, ended the series in 2002. While it might not be the most amazing film, aided by the over-the-top violence and amazing cameos from iconic horror actors, Robert Englund, Nightmare on Elm Street's Freddy Krueger, Kane Hodder, Friday the 13th's Jason Voorhees, to Tony Todd, the Candyman himself, it's a satisfying horror flick with some wicked special effects that has definitely earned its spot as a cult classic. But with that said, of course, I'd love to hear what you guys thought about the film, so please share that in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Come join our regular streams on Twitch. And yeah, if you have any other suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. As always, it's been a pleasure. Niyat here with Film Comics Explained. Thanks for stopping by.